Ecclesiastes is a depressing book, but it's meant to be a depressing book because life without God is ultimately depressing. And that's what he's exploring. He's exploring life under the sun. If this is all there is, and there is no God, then what is life? What's the meaning of life? What's the purpose of life? Why am I here? It seems so pointless. We're born, we work for all of our lives, and then we die and go to nothing. What's the point of anything? What's the point of everything? I mean, we experience moments of enjoyment and happiness and connection, but detached from God, those things don't last. They're temporary, they're transient. And Ecclesiastes, one of the things that I appreciate greatly about Ecclesiastes is that it's a book that is capable of cutting through our avoidances and suppressions and distractions and returning us to the cold reality of what life without God feels like. It's so honest. I said this when I started the series, but oftentimes when people ask me, hey, I want to start reading the Bible, where should I start? I tell them Ecclesiastes. It's a relatively easy book to read in the sense that it's easy to understand, but it really does, it gives you an honest evaluation of what life in this world and life without God feels like. He's not pretending that things are better than they are, like so many, positive thinkers and prosperity preachers out there who never want to talk about the bad stuff, the hard stuff, the difficult stuff, the under the surface stuff. But the writer to Ecclesiastes doesn't go that route. He looks under the surface. He goes deep. He explores widely. And he comes up with the same conclusion no matter where he searches. And that is, if there is no God, none of this matters. We live, we die, what difference does it make? We can't trust things, we can't trust people. This world is cold, this world is sterile. Everybody at the end of the day is out for themselves. This is a dark and depressing place. And I am a dark and depressed person because of it. That's what he says. Well, this section that I read is kind of surprising. He's just finished telling us that he pursued pleasure with all his might and all his resources, and none of it satisfied. In fact, it left him even emptier. So he switches gears. He said, well, that didn't work. Let me try something else. Realizing that the relentless pursuit of pleasure was foolish, he decides to pursue wisdom, which sounds like a good thing, sounds like a wise thing to do. You've experienced the foolishness of hedonism, of pursuing pleasure at all costs, and so now you wisely switch gears, and you say, I think the route is to pursue wisdom. Perhaps if he could figure out how to navigate life and avoid disaster, he would find happiness. I mean, we all know that wisdom does provide a measure of stability in this life. In fact, the whole book of Proverbs in the Bible encourages us to pray for wisdom, to pursue wisdom, to be wise in our ways. In the Bible, wisdom is highly regarded, highly regarded. So what he pursues here seems to be a good thing. But here he says that he discovered that the way of wisdom as an ultimate savior is as bankrupt as the way of pleasure. Proverbs comes right before Ecclesiastes, a book that's, like I said, all about wisdom, the pursuit of wisdom, the way of wisdom. It describes the fool in comparison to the wise man and says, go the route of the wise man. And yet here at the beginning, basically, of Ecclesiastes chapter 2, he's saying wisdom was a dead end for me. He begins in verse 13 by acknowledging his pursuit of wisdom and then concludes at the end that it was all a waste of time, all of it. In verse 15, he says that no amount of wisdom can ultimately fix what's wrong. Wisdom cannot fix brokenness. Wisdom cannot heal wounds. Wisdom cannot change the human heart. Wisdom cannot add 1 minute to your life or stop the death of someone you love. Wisdom has its limits. If you're banking on your wisdom to save you, you'll end up in the same place, he says. In fact, the pursuit of wisdom is painful, to be honest. Because the more honest you are in your evaluation of life under the sun, the more nauseated you get. I mean, in chapter 1, verse 18, he says very plainly, "The greater my wisdom, the greater my grief. To increase knowledge only increases sorrow." He's on to something there. Under the sun, wisdom is to see things the way they really are. Dark, ultimately meaningless, cold. Under the sun, wisdom sees that the world is unfair, that people are unreliable, that the future is uncertain, and that death is inevitable. He's obsessed with death, the writer to Ecclesiastes, obsessed with it. And because of this, he says that under the sun, wisdom leads to despair.